Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. And I was supposed to do something completely different today, but instead I decided we're going to be talking about how to draw profiles. So there's a few videos that are a precursor for this. I think I've made videos about drawing faces and keeping proportions the same, and then I think you can come and go into this because I feel like I'm not gonna remember to lay out those facts that I did before, but they are important to note when you are drawing a profile. Hey everybody, so we're gonna get started with talking first from looking at previous art, and then we'll, get into the basics and everything. I want this to be a more comprehensive video. The last one I did was very so, not very involved. So, this is my old studies. In all of my old studies, you're going to notice one thing. There's no space for the chin. So, in this, I have a little bit of space, but not enough. There's also, this doesn't take up enough space in my opinion. And then these I've did studies on, so they were a little bit better, but I believe these were all for my head, and this one especially you can notice is from my head because there's not enough room for the forehead, and then there's also not enough room for the mouth or the chin, which is a problem I always run into, and it's a problem that most artists I think run into when they're first starting out. It just happens. Yeah, so that's one thing where I simplified the head shape into what I wanted it to be, which is this boxy thing right here. You're gonna see that when I start drawing. I did some studies from some other artists. As you can see, there's a difference between when I study and like my art style. Like you can still tell it's my art style when I study, but yeah. And then I did a little study here. That's from my head, just to see if I could include the chin. Kind of good. And then I did. Now, do I have hiccups? Oh no. Now I did a Chloe profile, which looks really great. Looks very much like her. I struggled to do this like 3/4 almost profile thing because the nose at this angle is hard. Did another study that was for my brain, I think, up in the top left corner. And then here is my profile for Solomon on the left and Chloe on the right, which helped me with what I was drawing later. But now we're going to get into using references for all of our art. Okay, is having the camera doing much? Because I'm going to be looking down for the majority of it. I don't know, but here we go. So, first reference picture is Dave Patel, I believe. He is an artist that an actor that everybody loves, and I'm a pretty big fan of him as well. I like him, I think. So we're gonna go, and I'm gonna show you how I start to do this. So, of course, labeling one. I think the first thing I do is map out the head. So, for me, the head is gonna be, where's my brushes that I use? This is the problem I have every single time. I'll be like, oh, here's tools I like. Okay, so I start off with this. This is the back of the head. This is the front of the head. This is the face area, whatever. Mark the ear. There we go. So obviously the head is not actually shaped like this. There's a little bit more detail to it, like the head isn't this flat, blah 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 blah. When I started off like this, this is the big basic block shape. Big basic block shape. Big basic block shape. Can you say that 10 times fast? Big basic block shape. Okay, that's what we're working with at first. We're going to get more into the detail. Watch. Gonna start off by doing these landmarks, okay? This is what I talked about, I think, in the last video I made that 2 years ago. So we have this circle space for the skull, right? There's a fly! Leave me alone. Oh, it's buffering. There's a fly. Okay. I'm gonna try to optimize my computer so it doesn't buffer as much. Okay. So, as I was saying, big basic block shape. Then, drawing in the skull, there's this line I like to do. That's from the skull to the cheekbone down to the chin. All right? It's this, well, let me change the color. It's this line. It's okay, this line. When you do it in a 3/4 view, it's so much more obvious. Do this line. All right. So what is the next part to the big basic block shape, you may ask? Well, there's the tinier details. For example, here is the eye and the eyebrow area. Then we have the nose and the mouth is all down here. Okay, so that's my basic building blocks, and that's how I draw any profile. Now we're going to get into the tinier details that are a lot harder to do at first. So I'm naming this layer big basic block shape. Big basic block shape. So again, starting with the big basic block shape. I hate that I said it so much now. It's so easy to say. Put his ear. Need more space for the head. I learned how to simplify this from looking at references. References. Which one is it again? I add more space to the head. Let's get into this next part, which will be, okay. Yeah, I learned how to simplify online from looking at tutorials and stuff. This is the ear. I love to mark the ear. That's the easiest part for me. The next part, I go like this. Let's see, what is his cheekbone like? His cheekbone's like that. So, following that form. His eye is marked here. When I do these, I'm not really trying to do exactly like what they look like. I'm more just trying to capture certain elements like the forehead into the, so he has like a flat forehead, the forehead into the nose and stuff. So this part straight, then it starts to come out here. It ends at the nose, that's a marking, but it doesn't end so straight. You see how it curls in? So this nose is always the hardest part for me to do. I don't typically draw the nostrils, not like this part of the nostrils, but since we're in a side view, I guess we can. Remember to erase your markings, your guideline markings. I use that to do those little squiggly lines that show cheekbones. Yeah, sometimes I don't like to do that. So now here's the other hard part. Chin space and everything. This is as much as chin space as I've given myself. So how do I make everything fit and then still look nice if this is the only chin space I'm giving myself? Well, here we have the shape of the mustache. Draw that on. That was kind of fun. First of all, what I like to do when I'm like feeling overwhelmed with the mouth, so I like to ignore it and go on to the next part, which is the hair. His hair is wispy in the front like this. Might need to make it a little bit smaller. Luckily we have the lasso tool here, and we can just shrink that a little bit. That way we can do the hair. So from here, there's like this shape. What's important when you're doing this is just to show the direction that the hair is going in, because it's kind of like he has photo shoot hair, so they like didn't do as much organic shapes as possible. So then you just kind of want to erase this head shape, create the guidelines that show which direction his hair is flowing in or whatever, and that is about it. Now, is this a perfect is this a perfect like description of how his hair is going or whatever? Depiction, I mean, not description. No, but good enough for me, right? All right, so now let's do this. We're gonna do the bottom lip. Here we go. See where the bottom lip finishes in our drawing, but there's no space for the thing. Again, when I'm overwhelmed, I just run away. Run away from my problems. Run away from my drawing problem. So it's like you have to come back to it eventually. But for now, we're not. For now, we're running away. So I'm just gonna do that. And then his eyebrows are really thick and they follow this arc. There we go. Okay, so one thing is your jawline isn't straight. If you look at this picture here, you can see the jawline isn't straight. The chin tilts down a little bit. So chin tilts down and then comes up. The thing is, sometimes when there's this part of your jaw. So this is another guideline thing in the big basic block shape. There's a part of your jaw that exists that is this little triangle thing right here. Now, because you're to the side, what you're seeing is this back triangle and this front triangle. This front triangle is the jawline, and this back triangle is this part that you get to see at the side when you're finally depicting something. So that's why it looks like the chin is a bit lower. So you don't want to do the chin straight, guys. Don't want to do the chin straight. So let me show you the second line. This line you're not trying to draw, but it is in that, you see? That line you're not trying to draw. So what you want to make sure you're depicting is the swoop. You might want to put some hair there. I would put hair there, but I don't want to. You get that there's supposed to be hair there. So this comes from here, and that's kind of that's the first profile. Now, is there a lot of chin space here necessarily? No. Or forehead face space? No. But is it better than what I did before? Yes. So yeah, this was my first drawing of the day, so it wasn't the best, and little did I know I was gonna run into that mistake again and again and again. But I think I was getting my point across about the breaking down of the shapes and everything, and so you're gonna see like a better, more comprehensive way of how I do it and break it down in the end with no reference for my character. Sorry about this little break after, going through 13 minutes of a tutorial. Yeah, bye. Start off with that big basic block shape. Her hair's covering a lot of her face, which can be good and can be bad for us. Oh, also the jaw usually isn't straight. It can be straighter depending on your head shape, but it's not usually straight exactly. Here's a eye, here's the thing, here's this, she has this going on, and then the sort of forehead that goes like this. Now when you guys are like, what about the big basic block shape and how you simplify it? I'm whispering to myself kind of, sorry. I'm just gonna show you how I kind of do it for this one. At this point, I started to mumble to myself and I made a grave mistake. I wonder if you guys can catch what it is. Yeah, I was having a good time, but I was also trying to take my time and also do it within a certain time frame because I had something like at 8 and I started filming this at 6, and I take forever when I draw because I try to you know, break it down to the basics, I guess. But this time it was a little bit different because again, if you can catch my big mistake, that like tripped me up a bit. So I ended up muttering to myself about how to break it down and feeling, I guess, a bit pressured since I was on camera and forgetting how I would draw if I wasn't. So after having a billion tries where I just erased and put back the jaw and the nose and everything, I decided to start over for some of the drawings and redo them because they were not coming out the way I wanted. And this video already ended up being way longer than I expected, so here are the finished profile drawings that I did, and you're also going to get to see the side-by-side of before and after for 2 of the art that I messed up that I didn't like, and here it is. I hope you can tell on the second one I gave way too much chin space that wasn't proportional to the face, and I didn't leave a lot of forehead space as well. The same thing kind of happened with here. Instead, I elongated the face in a way that it wasn't supposed to be. I think the second one looks much better. Maybe not closer to the reference, but much better in terms of drawing a profile. Okay, let's get into the last part. Okay, for this last part, I'm going to be showing you this old drawing that I have of my character Axel and how, you know, it falls prey to that, all the stuff that I have. I talked about, like, proportions and everything, but still I wasn't able to get everything right at the time. You know, I just didn't have all the skill. So, let's see, how would I fix this exactly? Okay, big picture, right? He has a round face, so I think it's gonna stay to the front mostly. I always start off so big. It's like I want it to take up everything. I want it to take up all the room. Right. So one thing I would notice is that round face that I had only like took up this much. So the chin was like this, and then that was it. The jaw came in after. That's the first part. Second part, I guess, is the hairline. Just gonna go like that. Third part is to fix the back of the head, I guess, which I don't really care to do. But here we go. Then we have the eye placement in his brow to curve his eye. To draw. His nose is pretty straight. Let's draw. Pull this away. Pretty straight, but he has a forehead, even though his nose is straight. I think that's what I'm looking at there. Hope you can hear me because I kind of away from my camera, but I mean, I'm kind of away from my mic, but I also have a loud voice sometimes, I've been told. So here we go, there. put that in there. And now, let's see, this part is this is the testament, guys. Can I draw? Can I draw a profile now? As opposed to years before where I couldn't. Have that mark, this mark, and then okay. I think I did it, guys. So one thing that's gonna happen is this part might exist more because it's around her face. Oh my gosh, this is good. This is what he looks like. This is crazy, guys. This is what he looks like. So, started big picture, continue to, you know, work on it. And I got him. I'm really proud of myself. That's crazy because I thought he was so difficult to draw, especially I was adding facial features to him that like I probably couldn't comprehend as much because, you know, I didn't really know how to draw this certain stuff, but I wanted that to be incorporated into his character. I wanted him to have these features and this, you know, I wanted him to look like this, and I couldn't get it, and now I can, and I feel very, very proud of myself. Very much like, wow, you did that. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you find hard to draw about profiles. I hope this video has helped you in some way, and have a great day.